Today I fucked up by pushing my stepdad. Let's start off with some context. Me, 15 male, have been living with my mom, 33, my half-brother, 5 male, and my stepdad, 40 male, for the past 5 years. During these 5 years, I spent almost every day getting yelled at, called names, and criticized. I never understood why I got this treatment. I've done things I'm asked to do most of the time. I've never had a bad attitude until recently, and I've always done well in school. Some days I just feel like I can never do anything right and I feel useless sometimes. He doesn't do anything besides eat, sleep and scream, and then he acts like he does everything in the house. He and my mom have gotten into many arguments about commitments to our family and to their relationship, and that usually snaps him back to reality for a couple of days, but then he goes back to how he was before. The worst part is that he needs my mom to take care of him financially and take care of his own son. I found myself taking every chance I got to not be home, even if it was just for one day. I love my mom and my brother a lot, and it hurts seeing them being treated this way. My mom works long hours and still does all the cooking and cleaning. I do whatever I can to help, but it still doesn't change the way my stepdad treats her. In more recent times I find myself avoiding and resenting him, and I hate myself for it. Not because I care about him, it's because I've never wanted to hate anyone before as much as this. I find myself questioning if I would even care if he dropped dead at this moment. In more recent times, my stepdad had gotten really sick to the point of kidney failure, giving him less than 5 years to live. My mom has been having to drive him to the hospital and back. His mood has changed a little bit and he acts less like a dickhead and more like a respectable human being. But I can't help but think he acts like this because he knows my mom is the only person who will take care of him. We ended up moving into his dad's house and we now live with my step-grandpa. We've been living here for about a month and stuff seemed to be doing fine until around the last week of August, where he could not get off my ass. Just then I thought we were finally an okay family. He started passively calling me names. Saying things like, "Why are you even here?" or, "You're so useless." He never says it to my face, but he says it whenever I'm around him. This is when I reached my boiling point. I thought moving into a new home would mean the start of a new beginning. I thought him getting sick would mean a change in his heart. But no, deep down he's still the same person he was before. I've reached my boiling point and I've started ignoring him, and whenever he would start yelling at me I would talk back. I realized that he never cared or liked me. So why should I? I don't care if he's sick. If he's gonna treat me like shit, why should I be expected to care about him or whatever he says or does? I know I'm in the wrong for acting this, but I just stopped caring about him. He's a piece of shit. And then we had a big argument. I was in the middle of my game and my mom told me to go to bed. We respectfully agreed that I would go to bed after this match. It was the weekend, so I was staying up a little later than usual. Not even 5 minutes later my stepdad practically yelled at me to get off the game, and I told him that my mom and I agreed that I would go to sleep after the match. He proceeds to unplug the power cord to my PC and begins yelling at me about how I don't do anything. I begin to tell him that he treats everyone like garbage and I don't have to listen to him because he's a stranger to me. This is when he got physical. I'm usually a calm person when unprovoked and I never resort to violence after, but today was different. He proceeded to put his hands around my neck, so I pushed him back, causing him to fall down. He tried again and the same thing happened. I screamed, "Fuck you. You piece of shit. You're a dickhead and a hypocrite." This caused my mom to intervene, asking what happened. Unfortunately, before I could explain, my stepdad told us to leave and said he doesn't want me there, which made me laugh. I was laughing because I know he needs us. He's financially unstable and he can't work or takes care of his kid. Anyway, a couple of days after, and I'm starting to realize that I just set my mom back 10 steps. And I got a really bad scolding and a reality check. My mom says we might be able to go back, and even if we were, she might not be able to bring herself to. I can't help but think about how stupid I was to be rebellious and to stand up for myself. As of right now, my mom and I are living at my cousin's house, my brother at my aunt, my stepdad at his dad's. I feel like I should apologize for my stepdad, but I don't know if I can be genuine enough if I'm being honest. I don't feel remorse about what I did to my stepdad. Only for what I did to my mom and how I've made hers and my life worse. Too long did not read. I was emotionally abused by my stepdad and I decided to stand up for myself. Which resulted in my mom and I getting kicked out. Edit number 1: I didn't have many chores to do except clean up after myself, which I did for the most part. I did forget sometimes, but it wasn't anything big. Usually, you have generic items you tend to forget about while watching TV or something like an empty cup or your binder. Edit number 2. I would be criticized for not doing things fast enough. Right away or good enough. Like not throwing away all 3 heavy garbage bags at once kinda thing. Or not washing the dishes quickly or right away. Edit number 3. My mom has had talks with my stepdad about how he treats me, but he usually reverts back within a week or so. Edit number 4. My mom works long hours, so she's not home most of the day. So it's just me and my brother and my stepdad most of the time. Note # I know I wrote a whole book, but I just needed to get this off my chest and I have no one to talk to. Doesn't sound like you set your mom back at all. It sounds like you put her ahead. Fuck that guy. Hang in there. You did the right thing. In the long run I'm sure you and your mom will be better off. If he treated you like that, just think about how he treated your mother. Especially when you weren't around. The only criticism I have is you should have done more that pushed him. What he did was use deadly force against you by putting his hands around your neck. You were justified in protecting your life. He could go to jail for this. You are so much more of a man than he will ever be. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. Dude, I kicked my stepdad more squarely in the balls than I have anyone in my life. Anything that really affects your life from this situation will pass soon. It sounds like you did a good thing. Oh no, you ripped the albatross off your mother's neck, freeing her from a life of misery. How dare you?